Good day, everyone. This is Hannah Jane La Laguna, and welcome to the Professional Life. This is your podcast to understand what's professional growth and how an individual excel in his or her profession. There would be some tips provided exclusively for you that may help you how to improve your professional growth as a Filipino fresh graduate or young professionals. Before we dive in, if you're new on my YouTube channel, kindly click the subscribe button and don't forget to tap the notification bell for more podcasts and related videos solely created for you. Now let's begin. All of us definitely aspire and work towards being a role model employee, and all of us want to excel at our jobs. But being an expert in what you do is not enough to be a successful employee. So, a lot of other skills such as attitude, professionalism, teamwork, and many more can also define your success in your career. So, the first tip that I can share with you is to know your goal and be focused. So, to begin with, put in a place a plan for the next 5 years, like writing down what you want to have, where you want to be, and the goals that you want to achieve. So, such a plan may give you the feeling that your goals are far off since it will be in the next 5 years, but do not be discouraged. It is a good practice to regularly evaluate your progress based on the milestones that you have set. So this will help you to get closer to your goals. Successful people are the ones who are happy with their jobs and have clarity on what they want from work. So they identify first their goals and chart out a plan to accomplish those goals. For the second tip is you need to expand your knowledge and skills. So professional life is different from college, and yet one has to be willing to learn continuously. Upskilling will be the key to success. So it is important that you expand your knowledge and skills in areas that are relevant and critical to your organization or to your company. So, with the advancement, with the help of the technology and other environmental forces rapidly changing, so it is imperative for you to build your skill set not only to perform your job, but also to stay relevant and marketable. So, it doesn't have to be a master's level qualification. So, it can be a specific short course, so it may also help. It can also be useful to enhance your skills and diversify into new areas. Demonstrate commitment to your own professional development. So by showing and the motivation and willingness to continually learn, you'll find opportunities to develop your skills and grow in your career. So make sure that the people within your organization know when you have qualified. The next tip would be a very basic tip, but some of the professionals can't achieve it because of various reasons. So the third tip is to act professionally. No matter what your job is, being professional in all situations is important. So, some of the characteristics of a diligent professional are following the rules, courteous, friendly, and tactful. So, as much as possible, they do not engage in unnecessary office politics and gossip, which could even cost their job. So, make sure that you adhere to your organization's corporate values and ethics. What I want you to know is following work etiquette is an essential part of being professional. So this might also include dressing professionally to work. So dress accordingly for the job where you're assigned and avoid casuals as much as you can. So you will also be needing a lot of people, skilled people for being a good professional. So make sure that you are sociable, getting along with other employee, and attend other work functions too. So while doing all of this, be at your best behavior at all times. Okay, so let me introduce to you our special guest for today's episode. He is currently a government employee, particularly in City Planning Development Office, and at the same time a third-year law student at University of Nueva Cáceres. So he will be giving you more tips and advices with regards on how to excel in your profession and how to grow as a professional. Let us all welcome our guest, Mr. James Nathaniel Refugio.
And me, in relation to my profession, I'm graduated at Ateneo de Naga University with a course of Bachelor of Science and Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics. And in the same institution, I also graduated with my master's degree in Mathematics. And right now, I'm a incoming third year, taking my law degree at the University of Nueva Cáceres as a university scholar. And with this, my academic endeavors, it really, or rigors, it really helped me to how to balance myself being a working student since I'm a government employee working at the city government of Naga at the City Planning and Development Office. It really, challenged me because the demand of my work plus the demand of the law school, I really need to jive with that time. But what we need to do on how we excel in our professional life, first, we need to acknowledge ourselves, our capabilities, our capacity. And because when we able to acknowledge our capabilities and capacity, we can able to maximize the potential impacts that we can have, might it be in our work or might it be in our studies. And from the time, every time I give talk, because I'm also invited in different trainings here in the Philippines, and this is maybe because this is also an opportunity that COVID-19 or this pandemic crisis gave me, being invited, not just in the Philippines, even in Asia Pacific. But I always share this, that we are the product of our choice, not by the circumstances. Meaning, we are the one who define what we want to be in the next days, in the next weeks, or in the next months, or even in next years. So we are the one who define what we want to be or what we ought to be. And every time I share this, I always anchor to the 4 leadership circles. These 4 leadership circles, as I mentioned, is first, leadership of the self. The first leadership circle is leadership of the self because we need to lead ourselves. We need to lead ourselves on what we want to be, in especially by acknowledging, as I said, our strength, weaknesses, our capabilities, and the things that we need to improve. And from that, when we lead ourselves, this is the time we move to another circle, which is leadership with other. The very essence of having a leadership with others is, this is the time you can work with your family, you can work with your colleagues, classmates, friends, or even your loved ones. This is the time you're able to discuss your strengths and weaknesses. This is the time where you complement each other, to support each other to particular endeavors in life, where you can go hand in hand, where you can see or maximize the possible opportunities or the possible impact that you are doing, especially in your work. This is somehow I recognize, especially when I'm working at the city planning and development office. Being assigned in a particular task would not be an easy, especially if I'm not familiar with. But with leadership with others, by communicating with them, this is somehow my work is lessened, meaning somehow in terms of efficiency and effectiveness, I become more active on that, because I get a chance to communicate with my colleagues, and leadership with others is very important. And from the time, even in my non-profit organizations, we need our colleagues, our fellow members, our fellow board of directors to work with us to a particular program. And we need to complement each other, because our strength might be the other's weaknesses. The other's strength might be our weaknesses. So this is the time we need to complement each other, so that we can able to synergize our efforts, and at the same time our resources, given that we have limited or scarce resources. The next, as we move forward to the next leadership circle, is leadership for community. This is somehow I personally define leadership for community is leading with other organization, or this is the time you have extended your impact to other circles, like, or organizations. And it is very important that communication must be prioritized, because through communication we're able to clarify things, we're able to communicate what we want to be on a particular, for example, if we're doing a particular programs or projects, so we need to communicate our vision and mission so that we can align. And through communication, this is sometimes where we're able to unite our ideas from the cloud of ideas that we have. And from having unified ideas, this is sometimes help us to act as one. And it is quite challenging, to work with a community, considering the challenges that we are facing. But when we have a constant communication with them, especially in our community, it would really help us to improve or to be better. And the last leadership circle that I want to share, this is somehow a call to action for everyone. Given the challenges that we are facing right now, on the top of pandemic, on the top of natural disasters or man-made disasters, even the socio-political issues that we are facing, we are already stressed. We are already exhausted. Sometimes we feel that we are already hopeless, but we need to understand the context, how these people reacting to a particular issues. We need to know their context, where they are coming from. That is why the last leadership circle, or the larger one, is the leadership to the society. This is something that a challenge for everyone, and a challenge to anyone on how we can lead our society, because what we do today, as I mentioned, will affect, as mentioned in one of the television ad of Bear Brand, ang pinapangarap mo noon ay maabot mo ngayon. So it really means to say that what we dream yesterday or in the past few days, we will achieve it today. So we need to work hand in hand. We need to understand. We need to clarify things, because our personal growth, our professional development it is not only depend on ourselves. We need also others. We need also our community. We need our society to work hand in hand. Because as a young active citizens, we are here moving as a developing leaders in this changing world. And now the call is yours. What would be your significant contribution? What would be your call to action? What would be your fair share in our community? We might be feel hopeless. We might be feel, relentless, or even we feel dismay most of the time. But never lose hope. Always believe that there is God who always guide us, who will be the source of our inspiration and even our motivation to move forward. What we need to do now is we need to acknowledge everything and find ways where we can connect ourselves. And this is also an opportunity for us to know more about ourselves, because when we're able to know more ourselves, we can do more for others. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you enjoy. Thank you.
Thank you so much again, Sir James, for having you as my guest and for sharing your insights and your personal experiences as a professional. All right. So, as we go through this podcast, we go slightly deeper on the tips that I'll be sharing with you. So, another tip from me is to take initiatives and create your own opportunities. So, being good at your job is important. What's different with successful people is that their drive to push the limits of their work. So, careers today can be highly demanding with requirements increasing every day. So, I know you can feel it as a Filipino fresh graduate. Various companies right now has demand a higher requirements, qualifications, and standards like that. So while you may possess the required qualifications and experience for your current role, what will certainly help you progress in your career is your ability to take initiatives. Like generate fresh ideas, take on new additional projects, come up with new solutions, and help identify prospective opportunities for the company. You know, one individual needs to have an eye for detail and be on the lookout for relevant opportunities. So, an opportunity could be in you figuring out an innovative way to do an existing job or even identify a new position. So, in that, you need to approach the management and discuss the possibility of creating this new position and present yourself to be a potential candidate. So, these proactive steps can surely help you to excel in your career. The last but not the least tip will probably the most important of all the tips that I gave you previously. So it is to be your true self. You know, be yourself and express positive attitude. So do your work with dedication, enjoy it, and be passionate about it. Happiness is the key to performing at your best abilities at work. You don't need to, you do not have to promote yourself just to get noticed by the others, by the employees, or by the supervisors, by the heads, like that. So you can actually build a positive work culture around you uh, by uh, by showing a positive attitude. So stay committed to your work, displaying competence, diligence, intelligence, and loyalty. Take pride in the job that you do. So only when you're true to yourself, that's the time that you will be able to culturally align yourself within an organization. So your work should be a reflection of your values, and such employees who take a personal interest in their work are also the ones who are trusted with positions of responsibility. So also surround yourself with can-do people. The type of people who will greatly impact or who will greatly contribute to your success. So it can either enhance your chance for success and may even enhance your ambition and creativity. You become what you think. So that's what Sir James, our guest, said earlier, that you are the product of your choice. And that's very relevant until today. you know so a positive mindset, a positive uh, mentality with a thought process channelized towards achieving success will certainly help you to get there. Yeah. So I just want to wrap up our podcast for today. So excelling in your career also requires a certain amount of investment, planning, and perseverance to stick up to the plan. So let's go back to the first tip that I gave to you, which is to know your goal and be focused. So a clear goal, really actually with a focused plan, can really help you to stand apart as a successful individual in the industry. So all of the tips that I gave to you is a very, very effective tips if you really want to excel in your profession and to improve your professional growth in your career. So invest in yourself and pave your way to success. That's all for today's episode. I hope you all enjoy our today's topic, and I am really looking forward that these tips will certainly help you in your professional life. If you do have comments, ratings, and queries, you can actually leave it on the comment section of this episode on my YouTube channel. Also, your like, subscribe, and share will be highly appreciated. Thank you so much for tuning in. Let's catch up soon. This is Hannah Jane Laguna, and this is The Professional Life, your podcast to success.